Hey guys, so I'm going to add this in the beginning of the rest of my video because I wanted to get to one of my points about speaking to the telecommunication companies, which was AT&T and Sprint specifically. Hi guys, so I'm just going to continue a little conversation that I had the other day. I've mentioned it in my earlier videos about my phone calls with both AT&T and Sprint regarding the new upgrade as of May 1st. That's what instigated or inspired my conversations and looking more into May 1st as to what's their incentive about this specific date. And I've gone over some of it. I have a lot more to talk about, but my conversation was, and I hope you can hear me, I just stepped outside because I like it out here better than inside. So I spoke to the AT&T. He was one of the supervisors. His name was Anthony, and this is on April 27th. His ID number, I guess, was AJ572B, as in boy. And when I asked him about the safety studies, because before I wanted to agree to upgrade to my SIM card, and I'll put some information about the SIM card right here. Looking at SIM card in Hebrew gematria, it's shocking, biointech, satanic, reset, and iPhone, and Wuhan. Before I could upgrade to the SIM card, I wanted to know where their safety studies were, and regarding the exposing people to these 5G frequencies on their devices. And his comment was, I'm sure that there were studies done. That's what he said. And then I got hung up on a couple times from him. Then I went over, and also Shauna at AT&T also said that I was the only person to have questioned about what an upgrade entails. And then also, so I went over to Sprint, who is my carrier, and now I no longer have phone capability at all. I don't have a network at all. So they're true to their word. They shut you off if you don't submit to the 5G frequencies. Really interesting. The last person I spoke to on April 27th on Sprint, she said that when I asked her if Sprint has contracted with the Department of Defense or the military, she came back after 15 minutes or so. She said she was going to go talk to a technician or technician or the engineers. Was that yeah, I think she said engineers. So she came back, and she said that no, regarding my question is, has Sprint contracted with the Department of Defense or the military? She came back and she said they haven't directly contracted with the Department of Defense or the military, but she said that they have to have a permit. They have to get a permit from the military before they can install their cell towers. That's what she said. I found that pretty shocking. So the military has the say on whether or not the communication companies, where they put their towers, I guess. But also locally here, at least, I've seen a lot of those little cells, the little 5G cells. I've seen those all over the actual water towers. So that's a little concerning, because if what's happening to our water. And again, there haven't been studies regarding that, because I called Sweetwater Authority, who is my water authority, to ask them where the studies are regarding putting those cell towers so close to our water source. So there you go. The military, the communications people, before they put up a cell tower, they have to get a permit. They need to be permitted by the military. And in a court case, that Pfizer also commented that it was the Department of Defense that commissioned those needle crafting jabbers that everyone is injecting into their bodies without knowing what the ingredients are. You've seen, I'm sure, many have seen the empty ingredient list. So how do you give informed consent? Informed consent. You don't. You can't. So anyhow, that's the wrap on just that, and I'll continue the video where we left off. Okay, these are nasturtiums. They're good for purifying the blood because they're spicy. Okay, guys, be good. Here, listen to the rest of the video if you can. Thanks. Bye. Oh, and one real quick note too. Another sensitive conversation or topic, it seems to be, when I asked and was talking to Anthony, which is when I got hung up on, is when I asked if his customers were being given informed consent about what these 5G frequencies do to their health, and if they were informed about these upgrades and what kind of damage that these would have on them. And that's when he hung up. I mean, literally twice when I mentioned that, the informed consent for customers. So that seemed to be a little sensitive topic. And regarding the upgrade, now today's the 30th, and tomorrow is going to be May 1st. That's Mayday. So I've been covering what that is in my previous video yesterday or last night. I posted it. So here the Western Zodiac is Taurus, which I'm not really into the zodiacs, but I think it has some relevancy. But here, May 1st is the 121st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. So 121, let's go look at that. Oh, but real quickly, so holidays and observances, International Workers' Day. So they took the International Workers' Day and then they made it a Mayday, like a distress signal. So interesting. So let's go look at 121 days. So the very first thing that pops up, the very first word under the word 121 in the Jewish gematria is Mark. Isn't that interesting? You can look at Maria also as AI Ram. 121 is plan, as in like agenda. Also, it's RNA and federal. So May Day, also called Workers' Day or International Workers' Day, is the day that commemorates the struggles and gains made by workers and the labor movement. Here's a few of the pictures. So struggles and gains. So it happens to land on a Monday, the 1st, on a Monday. And do you know that song, I Don't Like Mondays, by the Boomtown Rats? Rats can also be star. So the silicon chip inside her head gets switched to overload, and nobody's gonna go to school today. She's gonna make them stay at home. And Daddy doesn't understand it. He always said she was good as gold. And he can see no reasons, because there are no reasons. What reasons do you need to be shown? I don't like Mondays, tell me why. I don't like Mondays, tell me why. I don't like Mondays, I want to shoot the whole day down. The telex machine is kept so clean and it types to a waiting world. Remember that? Was it my yesterday's video? I looked at the words Mayday, which was 836, which was also a computer program, and Jasper, and Jasper happens to be the AI that lets, it writes your text for you. Remember that? And just regarding Telecommunications, Telex International Messages Transfer Service consisting of a network of teleprinters. Remember the word print when I was looking at the print and copy and clone? I mentioned that yesterday. But the service consisting of a network of teleprinters connected by a system of switched exchanges. And yesterday I showed the HR 2501, the Spectrum Coordination Act. It was introduced at 414, which is also 414 is May Day. And in the description of an act, they talk about short title, updating memorandum. Number 3 here, establish reasonable timelines for the exchange of information between the national Telecommunications Information Administration and the Federal Communications Commission. But the other document I read, it just said the commission. And that ended up being this guy, Lucky Luciano, which looking at his name was a unlucky coil. And with this article I shared in Popular Mechanics, titled Scientists Want to Use People as Antennas to Power 6G, which talks about coupling the copper coils with VLC systems, uses humans as antennas to power up the technology they use. One more little thing about the Global Telex Network has had since inception a handy confirmation convention called Who Are You? Then I don't, but look at, isn't that interesting? Vulcan hammer, Vulcan. Remember Spock on the USS Enterprise? USS Enterprise NCC 1701. And that's 19, which is AI. Or if you want to add all these things up also, I came to 55. And 55 is AI DNA. So either way you go, the AI is involved. Or if you want to look at the words USS Enterprise, the anagram for it, it could be intersperse us. And look at what Cambridge says, intersperse, to mix one thing in with another in a way that is not regular. You think? I wonder what the needle crafting, how that would fall into that whole thing. U.S. Enterprise can also be serpent issuer. I wonder what that entails. Look at that. The caduceus is staffed with two snakes coiled. There's your coil. Around it is the official insignia of the United States Medical Corps, Navy Pharmacy Division. The Navy. That's the Navy. The caduceus. The coil. The serpent. So I pronounced that incorrectly. It's caduceus is how you say it, not caduceus. Caduceus. And look at that. It's staff of Hermes. They say it's fictional objects, but yet that's the symbol of the Navy Pharmacy. Staff of Hermes. Again, Greek mythology. They love their mythology. And when you look at the anagram for Greek mythology, it's Mother Yegyoke. And Yeg is a thief, especially a burglar or safe cracker. A person who breaks open safes, a burglar. Safe cracking is the process of opening a safe without either the combination or the key. Sounds like the government. Remember the whole 2501 introduced 414, the Spectrum Innovation Act. Here regarding the National Telecommunications, and they say between the administration and the commission. And the commission is American Mafia, the founder Lucky Luciano. Remember I went over this? Anyhow, a mob boss, mob, the mafia, American Mafia. Talk about safe crackers. It's all between the Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, all happening in the Senate. And Greek mythology can also be looked at as keg regarding mythology. And what do you get out of a keg? Many times beer. Remember the beer virus? And intergalactic travel was the numerology and Sprint PNS system. It's also this, which is when you look at, you can look at the anagram as on right now or New World Order. On right. Right on, New World Order. Just a couple more things about this USS Enterprise. USS Enterprise, notice the web in the background, like the net or a web that Mr. Spock is holding up. So looking again at a little bit more of anagrams of USS Enterprise. So one is pure sin reset. This reset is pure sin. I would agree with that. It's also IT's super sneer. Super sneer. These are a couple images of someone sneering at you. Again, here's a Cambridge University definition of sneer: to talk or look at someone or something in an unkind way that shows that you do not respect or approve of him. Remember that whole thing about being essential? Here it is, National Conference of State Legislators. You had to be deemed to be essential by some states. You know, isn't that interesting? You have to be worthy according to them. And it all comes under the labor and employment, as in like the Mayday employee. Yeah, it's all that prioritization and frontline and essential workers. This is interesting because it shows California. It's the green states, or the states that have created their own guidance. This is regarding, you know, if you're essential or not. So they created their own thing because they're walking to their own tune, despite what laws and stuff are. And then the blue ones are the states that have used federal guidance, and the yellow is states with no guidance. So they didn't play the game. So are we going to fall for this again? Are we going to do it again when they bring it around again? Their pure sin reset. USS Enterprise also has the word Sprint in it, if you've noticed. And isn't that interesting when you look at the sneer in Wikipedia? It uses Charles Darwin as an example reference, and it goes to the expression of emotions in man and animals. Looks like eugenics also to me, that Darwin. Okay, back to the program. So I can't help myself a little further in that Darwin thing, the expression of the emotions in man and animals. And this talks about the book's development, biographical aspects. Look at that face. Can you see the triangle in that face there? Horror and agony. This is funny because it talks about background. In the weeks before Queen Victoria's coronation, maybe that's where they got the word coronation. Charles Darwin sought medical advice on his mysterious physical symptoms. Nothing is mysterious if you know about life or health. Okay, on with the show. I just have to add one more thing. This is something that in expression, Darwin reformulates the issues at play, writing. The force of language is much aided by the expressive movements of the face and body. I just think that's interesting, hinting at a neurological intimacy of language with psychomotor function. That's body language. So when you talk about sneering, and underscoring the social value of expression. So they just kind of rub it in your face and use words and letters. Remember, the Word is God. John 1:1 said the Word was God. Okay. Anyhow, back to I don't like Mondays. The telex machine is kept so clean, and it types to a waiting world. Her mother feels so shocked. Father's world is rocked, and their thoughts turn to their own little girl. Sweet 16, you turn that 19 upside down, there's your 16. Sweet 16's gematria also is 1649. So is the word downsizing. When you look at the WEF, you flip that around and it's few, as in less than. That would be downsizing, like as in depopulation, as in genocide. It's also Follow the Rabbit, and yesterday I shared a little bit about the book called Gray Rabbit's Mayday, which talked a lot about crowns and scepters, which when you look at the gematria for it, it's Klaus Schwab, contaminated vaccine shelves are cleared and this world needs to go. That would be downsizing. So Sweet 16, ain't that peachy keen? Now it ain't so neat to admit defeat. They can see no reasons because there are no reasons. What reasons do you need? I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. I want to shoot the whole day down. Down, down, shoot it all down. And all the planes stopped in the playground now. That could be like little Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posies, or the Going Around the Maypole. She wants to play with the toys a while, and school's out early and soon we'll be learning. And the lessons today is how to die. Isn't that interesting? On Monday. And then the bullhorn crackles and the captain tackles with the problems and the hows and whys. And he can see no reason because there are no reasons. What reason do you need to die? The silicon chip inside her head gets switched to overload, and nobody's going to go to school today. She's going to make them stay at home, and Daddy doesn't understand it. He always said she was good as gold, and he can see no reasons because there are no reasons. What reasons do you need to be shown? I don't like Mondays. Tell me why. And it just happens to be, there's your silicone chip. This year, 2023, date May 1st, happens to be on a Monday. And so it's just interesting that T-Mobile and Sprint picked May 1st. It says T-Mobile is reminding holdout Sprint customers to switch. And on May 1st, all Sprint SIM cards will no longer have access to their respective services. And in the event that you have not yet converted, and this is at phonearena.com, and here's their little symbol, that's T-Mobile, and sending out those gang rays. And here they call it also here, they need to switch out your SIM card. It says, this notices warning customers that their current SIM card is nearing the end of life, and they should immediately switch to T-Mobile SIM card. Now, when I spoke to Sprint, I spoke to, his name was Anthony. I do have his employee number. And I asked him when they sent out these notices, basically the upgrade will entail making your phone go to 5G, not the phone going to 5G mode, but they can, 5G capability will be on your phone. So that kind of ups the microwave frequencies and all that. And I asked him, where's the notice of to care for your customers? Where did you give them consent to do they know that they're upgrading to this, harmful frequency? And he hung up on me. I literally got hung up on 6 times between AT&T and Sprint. I got hung up on. So they gave the notice, but they didn't give the informed consent that their customers were going to be exposing themselves to 5G frequencies. And that seemed to be a really sensitive topic, since every time I asked that question, that's when I got hung up on. And then the last employee of Sprint who I spoke to, we had a nice conversation, and she even thanked me for some of the information. But I asked her specifically if Sprint was contracting, or if they had contracted with the Department of Defense or the military. She said, hang on, she didn't know she was going to go talk to an engineer or a technician. She came back after 15 minutes. I have this, you can FOIA this conversation. It was on the 28th. Was it, wait, hang on, was it 27th? No, the 28th. So she came back and she said that no, Sprint wasn't directly contracting with the Department of Defense or the military, but they did need to get permission, or permits actually. They needed permits in order to put up cell towers. They needed permits from the military to install these mast cell towers. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That what's going on with these cell towers? If you need permits from the military to install them, what's that say? Just like Pfizer during a court case literally said that they were commissioned by Department of Defense to create those needle crafting bioweapons that people weren't informed about what was really in them. So put it all together, connect the dots, guys. So I might lose my phone service tomorrow, but just in case, if you need or want to email me, you can email me at upssucks888@gmail.com. That's upssucks888 Those are the numbers. I mean, yeah, the number's 888 and then @gmail.com if you want to connect with me if for some reason I totally lose all service. And isn't this interesting too? Sprint PNS system, the Sprint PNS system, you can manage your chronic pain here. Another little needle looking thing. So it's interesting here. The mounting pad enables wearable use of pulse generator. That's what your phone device is. It's a pulse generator. They've got the coils in there. It says coiled design is intended to reduce lead migration, or is that lead migration? Maybe, well, lead migration, allowing fibrotic ingrowth, gentle traction withdrawal. So here's something interesting. The Sprint PNS system. Look, the Sprint PNS system is $12.84. $12.84 is intergalactic travel. The U.S. Enterprise. And $12.84 is also the beer virus. Funny, huh? I'll continue my video that I started yesterday and let you finish up with that. Okay, guys, take care.